Hello everyone, welcome back to Talented Developer. In this video, we are going to create a Spring Boot LDAP authentication project from the scratch. So what are the steps we are going to follow? We'll be building a Spring Boot application from the scratch using the Spring Security. Then we'll create LDAP server from the scratch. Then we'll try to add a user with the credential. Then we'll write our LDAP authentication code in a Spring Boot application and we'll try to test our user login. If everything works fine, then we'll try to see what are the error and exception you might face during your LDAP authentication. And the last step will be like shortcut. So using that one, you can put your some of the LDAP configuration code directly to the property file and you can reduce your code. So first of all, we have to create one Spring Boot application. So what you can do, so just open your web browser and search Spring Initializer. You can open this one. Here you can give your project name. So I can say here com.learn. You can put here LDAP auth. I'm going to select as Maven. You can select your Java version and you can select here dependency as a web. Then add Spring Security and LDAP. You can click on generate. After that, you can extract your compressed folder. You can see project has been created. Now you can try to export this project into your IDE. Currently, I'm using Eclipse. So you can click on File, Import, Maven, existing Maven project, New. You can select your project. You can see pom.xml. Now click on Finish. So this is our entry point here. You can see notation Spring Boot application. And if you open here pom.xml, I'm just going to comment this Spring Security for now only. Now we need to create one controller. So before that, let's try to open one Spring document. Search Spring LDAP. You can open this link. So in this document, they have created one LDAP authentication, but they have used here ldif file. Here we are not going to follow this approach. We will see this in upcoming video. For now, we'll try to create user like real-time application. So we need to copy one API. Let's copy for now and we'll put into our controller. So before that, we need to create one controller. Click on new class and you can give your controller name as a LDAP authentication controller and you can give the package name here dot controller. Click on finish and you can copy paste and put annotation on the top at the rest controller. Now you have to import from the Spring. So one small Spring Boot application has been created. Let's run. You can see here our Spring Boot application is running at localhost 8080 port. So let's go here, type localhost 8080. You can see it is showing here welcome to the home page. Correctly, it's working fine. But now what we'll do, we'll try to implement our Spring Security. So if the user is having the valid credential, then we can see this message. Otherwise, it will not show at all. So now you can again come back to your pom.xml and try to uncomment that line. Now you can stop your server. Again, try to run your application. Now try to load the same URL. You can see now it is showing username and password. This is the default feature of Spring Security. Now we will go our second step. Our second step is what? We have to create one LDAP server from the scratch. So here I am going to use Apache Directory Studio. Before that, let's understand what is the benefit. So generally LDAP means lightweight directory access protocol, and using this one you can easily pivot role in streaming line identity management. Even that you can implement authentication and directory services. After that, you can also configure your network security and you can provide different kind of access controller to different kind of user. Download this one. You can just go on Google and just search Apache Directory Studio. Otherwise, you can just check this video. Once installation is done, try to search Apache Directory Studio. So you can see here, this section is called LDAP Server. So click on this icon, new server. Here you can select Apache DS 2.0. Using this one, you can create your server. So might be when you try to start the server, it will show a stop. So try to open your Apache Directory Studio as a administrator. Otherwise, try to use Java 11 because sometimes Java 17 or 21 is causing the issue. Once your server is started, then we have to create one connection. So what you can do, just right click and click on create connection. So you can see our connection has been created, and if you open here DIT, you can see OU, that means organization unit as a system, and here we have one UID that is called admin. So by default this will be created. Now if you want to know like what is our LDAP URL, so what you can do, you can select anywhere and just click on properties. You can see here LDAP localhost 10389. This is our URL for LDAP. Otherwise what you can do, just you can come in your connection also and you can just click on properties. You will get entire details here. So our third step is what we have to create a user. So what you can do, just come to this OU equal to users. Here you can keep all the users. So for now you can just try to add a user. Just select right click, new entry, create entry from scratch. Here you can select inet, organization, person. You can see it will add 4 object classes. Now click on next. So our parent is what? OU equal to users, and it is inside the system. You can see here OU equal to users and OU equal to system. Now you can follow here CN, that means common name, and here I'm going to put the name like RAM. So you can see the DN is what? CN equal to RAM, OU equal to users, and OU equal to system. Click on next, and you can put here surname, means here I can say Kumar, and click on finish. So we have created a user, and if you click on properties, this is the DN of that user. DN means distinguished name, and here we are going to add one field that will contain the user password. So click on here new attribute, and here you can see all the attribute. If you want to add UID, photo, and blah blah blah, you can easily add. So for now I'm going to add the user password. You can click finish, and here one pop-up will come. Here you can enter the password. I'm just going to enter as a 123456. 123456. You can see this is our password. Now click on OK. So one user has been created. You can see the CN is what? RAM, and it is inside OU equal to system and OU equal to user. So we have follow still step 3. Now we'll try to create one Spring security file. So if you see the document, you can come down. This is their web security config. You can see they're putting annotation as a configuration, and here they are doing security filter chain. So what we can do, just come right click. Here I can say security config file, and put here package name as a config. So we are going to override the Spring security configuration. So you can come and put annotation as a configuration, and after that try to add here enable web security also. Now you can open that Spring document, and we are going to copy paste the security filter chain. I will explain what it will do. So currently we are using the latest Spring, so our all the configuration file, our all the code will be latest only. So now you can import it. So here what will be happen, here we are getting all the HTTP security, and after that we are saying like okay, whatever request it is coming, try to do the fully authentication, and by default we are saying like okay, try to load here form login thing. So now we are going as step 4, that means we are going to create here LDAP authentication related code. Here we are going to follow two approach. So first of all, I am going to put all the LDAP configuration in this security config.java file only. After that we'll try to play, and then we'll put into properties file. So in this security config we are going to create 3 bin. First bin will be LDAP template, and in that one we'll try to pass the context source. That context source will come from the another bin that we will call LDAP context source, and it will contain the LDAP configuration like URL, user DN, and password. And once everything is ready, then we'll create another bin that will call authentication manager, and here we'll put the configuration related to the user like user DN or search, give a notation as a bin, and you can create one LDAP template here. Try to load from the Spring code. Now it will ask you to return here LDAP template. So what we'll do, just copy this one and return here, return new LDAP template, and here we are going to pass here context source. So context source means it will contain the LDAP context source. So what we'll do, we'll just come again down and we'll create one bin. Just put here public LDAP context source, and here we'll try to create one LDAP context source. So first try to import, Please do not get confused. We'll explain everything in detail. So currently we'll be interacting with LDAP using the LDAP template. That's why we have created one context and we'll put our entire LDAP related configuration file. And when the template will be loaded, it will try to put into Spring Security. So we have created our LDAP context source. We have to now add all the LDAP configuration. So just use here LDAP context source dot set URL. So this will contain your LDAP URL. So what you can do, you can just open your LDAP, select anywhere, OU or any user. You can copy from LDAP to your port number. Now what? Just copy and put here dot set user DN. For now, I'm just going to add here admin, but I will show like without any credential also you can work. I will try to add the value, but before that, just come here and put here set password. So now we have to put what? Admin user DN. So how you will get the admin user DN? Just open your LDAP. Here we have admin. So just come, open the properties and you can blindly copy the DN. So we have copied the DN. Now we need some password. Here you can play. Here you can try to add some different user also. Now you can open. Now we need the password. So what you can do? You can see user password is here. Just double click and it will ask you to verify the password. By default, password will be secret. Just click on verify and you can see this is the actual password. Now you can add here. So what we have done, we have added our LDAP URL. We have also added one user DN and now we have added the password. Now try to return the context. So we have added our LDAP context source. Our LDAP template is also ready. So whenever we'll run our application, it will take the LDAP template and it will try to get all the configuration thing from your LDAP context source. Now we have to create one authentication manager. So what you can do, just come down and give a notation as a bean. In the latest Spring, so many things has been changed. So just use authentication manager. Try to import from Spring Security. And here we have to pass base LDAP path context source. Now what we'll do here, we'll try to create one object for LDAP bind authentication manager factory and we'll try to return the authentication manager. So whenever our Spring application will be run, it will get all the details whatever we have set for the LDAP. Then it will create one authentication manager and after that it will try to work. So try to create one object for LDAP bind authentication manager factory. You can import and you can give here new and you can pass source. Now we'll try to return factory dot create authentication manager. You can see here it will return the configure authentication manager that can be used to perform LDAP authentication. So if you see here, it is showing what? The type org.springframework security.ldap authentication bind authenticator cannot be resolved. So now we have to import one more dependency. So what you can do, just copy this line and just come and type here maven and that dependency name is Spring Security LDAP. You can take the latest one, copy this one, open your pom.xml, you can go to your dependency and try to add. So now you can see here our security chain is also ready, our LDAP context is ready, we have added the LDAP credential. Now what will be the challenge? Here we have to say to our Java code like, okay, you can take the user from this OU. Currently don't know like, okay, I need to take from where. So what you can do, you can just come and try to do here factory dot set user DN pattern. So for now I am going with the CN. If you have UID, you can proceed with the UID. You can try to go with the unique thing, but for now I'm just going CN. It is just test project. So what you can do, just come here and type here CN equal to open bracket 0 and close bracket. Try to pass here 0. That means it will try to replace dynamically. So here 0 means currently it will treat like whatever username will pass, it will understand like, okay, CN equal to that username. So for now I have added the CN. So now we have to add our OU also. What you can do, just come and right click and copy this and you can put comma and save it. So for now I am just going to put entire DN here. So here you can see CN and this will be replaced dynamically, and after that the user is belong from users, and this will belong entirely from system, and this whole DN will be inside LDAP URL. So you can cross check also. You can see here, this is the actual URL. You might need to check your URL and DN perfectly, otherwise you can get exception. So if you don't want to go this approach, what you can do, you can just come and you can put here like factory dot set. You can see here user search base, user search filter. According to your preference, you can select anything. Now we have done everything. So let's stop our server, again try to run, and we'll try to see like, okay, it's working or not. You can refresh. So our username is what? Ram. So you can see currently I'm going with CN, that means common name, and our password is what? 123456. Now click on sign in. You can see it is showing here, welcome to the home page. So how we can cross check like, okay, it is actually taking correct credential or not. So what you can do, just come, stop your server, and this time we'll try to pass different RAM1. Let's go with same password. You can see here bad credential. So actually it is going to your LDAP URL, and from LDAP it is taking that DN. You can see here, this is our DN, and it is cross checking, okay, this user is valid or invalid. But if you see the Spring document, you can see they have gone with configured, they put here auto wire annotation, and they have done this thing. I really don't like this approach when I'm going with dynamic data. And if you try to notice their LD file also, you can see they are putting only one password, that is called encrypted here. You can see otherwise all password is like plain text. So this is also another challenge you will face. So what are the steps we have mentioned? We have currently follow maximum thing. Like first step is like we are going to create one Spring Boot application. Yes, we have done. Then we have created one LDAP server also. Yes, that is also done. Then we have added the user with credential, and after that we have added our LDAP authentication code. Now I will tell you one more thing. So in this security, you can comment this one. Why I will tell you, so many times maybe your admin will be enable the URL, but sometime if they will say like, no, without credential you cannot access, on that time you have to definitely mention the user DN and password. Now you can stop the server and again try to run. Again come, refresh, type RAM and password. You can see it is working fine without admin credential also. The next step is like, what are the exceptions you might face? So first of all, what I will do, I will try to stop my LDAP server. Just click on red. You can see now my server is stopped. Now you can stop your Spring Boot application and again try to restart. Try to reload the page. Now if you try to enter the credential, you can enter correct credential also. You can see here it is showing localhost 10389. That means it is your LDAP URL. Whenever you will get this kind of message, that means your LDAP server is down. If you want to again cross check, what you can do, you can come and you can see here connection refused. If you go on the top, it will show every details here. Now this is the first thing, the major problem where user will face when they will pass the DN of the user. Trust me, you might also face this issue. So how we can easily see our error? So what we can do, for now, just start your server and you can try to open your LDAP band authentication manager factory, and here you can see it is going inside the Spring Framework Security LDAP. Again you can open this one and just put your breakpoint. Now just stop your server and try to run your project into debug mode. This will be very interesting. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Click on sign in. You can see internally it will call the authenticate method. Here you can see it is your username as a RAM, and the password is what? 123456. In case if your password having some wrong length, you will get this kind of message. Now let's come to this line. I will put some more breakpoint. So try to go for next one. So here you can see the DN. You can see this DN. You can copy paste for your reference and open the notepad and you can copy paste here. Now what will be happen, it will open one function that is called bind with dn, and it will again open the below function. Let's open this class perfectly, put one breakpoint here and here. So now our full dn is what you can see, cn equal to ram, o equal to user, o equal to system. This is same as whatever we just copy, and after that it will try to pass your password and your full dn into get context source. So using this approach, what will be happen, it will try to match, okay, your password is wrong or what. Now what will be happen, if everything will be fine, you will go at line number 113 at all. You can see it's working fine. So now user is what, user is not null, then user is not null, then you can see some details here, and after that you will see the next API page. Okay, welcome to home. Now what I will do, I will try to enter the wrong data. So open this one, and I will try to remove this system. Let's save and try to again run. Now refresh, enter your credential 1 2 3 4 5 6. It will come here, then go next, then the DN. See the DN, you can again copy. Now go for next, next, next. You can see now user is null, then again null, then you will get this message, and after that you can see again it will try to go for bind with dn, it will try to follow the search approach. But if your credential is wrong, definitely you will get error like bad credential. So how you can cross check, you can easily cross check using your cn. So if you copy this whole url and if you put here, so you know this will be your LDAP URL and this will be the DN. So this DN and this DN must has to be same, otherwise you will get error like wrong credential. So whenever you are building this kind of project, please make sure like your LDAP URL is correct, your DN is correct, and there must be a user with that actual password. So if everything is fine and you are getting wrong credential, that means definitely your password is wrong. Now let's come to the last section. Here it is like bonus thing. So I told you to write the big code for context source, then LDAP template. So now we no need to write also. There is a one small approach what we can do. Just come, comment this line. You can close, you can shut down your server. You can again comment this line. So now what we have currently, we just have now authentication manager, and now we have Spring filter chain. Apart from that, we are not going to keep anything. So let's open your property file. It will be inside the resource, and here we can add our LDAP URL directly. So what you can do, just write here spring.ldap.urls equal to, you can copy paste whatever URL you have in your LDAP, save it, and now try to run this one. Now come, refresh 1 2 3 4 5 6. So now you can see I just entered the correct credential, but it is showing password is wrong because here we have removed another OU. What was the OU? It was OU equal to system. Just save, stop your server. So in case if you are getting this kind of issue, you can easily debug whatever approach I just told you. Now you can again come, refresh, use RAM 1 2 3 4 5 6. Boom. So you can see we are able to authenticate the user using the property file also. Now let's come for another learning thing. What you can do, you can just cut entire this thing. No need to go that one. You can just put your DN pattern here, and here what you can do, just come here and type spring dot ldap dot base, and you can copy paste. No need to put comma here like in the beginning of OU equal to user. So whatever we have done earlier, like initially we have put our LDAP URL and the base inside the Java file. Now we have moved into property file. Now you can come to your security file. So currently we don't have anything. We have just one security config class. We have two annotation. One is called configuration and second one is called enable web security. Here we have added security filter chain, and here we are doing all the authentication manager. Here we are just putting our DN pattern. If you have a UID, you can start with UID. Now again you can start your server, refresh, type password. I will try to enter wrong password. See, it is showing bad credential. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Boom, perfectly working everything. So whatever step we have planned, we have achieved everything. So I hope you understand how you can configure your LDAP with Spring Security using the latest Spring code. The document is showing using the LDIF. Definitely we'll learn, but in upcoming video. Thanks for the watching entire video. So if you really like this video, you can subscribe and you can press on like button, and feel free to deep dive into each step. So in the next video we'll learn how to get the login user details. That means once the user is login, they can access this API. Similarly, we'll create another API, and once the login is successful, then we'll try to send the login user details in the API response.